Hope you all are having a fantastic day. It is finally time for another episode. Let's jump into it. So starting this off, I finally unlocked the last region in ports. I've decided to try and do a little bit more of that. Figured it could be something I could use for some passive money making in the background, making scrimshaws, making tank armor pieces and stuff like that. My biggest obstacle right now is that I really don't get a whole lot of scroll missions. I've built for telescopes and all that, but that's kind of holding me back from making scrimshaws, making my rocktail soups and stuff like that. I am able to use trade goods to make the tank armors, but it'd be nice if I could actually use my bones and my spices. Moving forward, I got Nymora's Braid as a drop when I was doing a Reaper task. This was quite a while back. This episode has been a long time coming because, it takes a very long time to get all the clips for a good episode now. But after 668 Twin Furies kills, I have unlocked both of the pets from this boss. Because it's not an incredible boss, in my opinion, to do for profit, as far as God Wars Dungeon 2 goes anyway, especially, I'm not really going to be focusing any of my time here. From here on out, I think I'm going to be doing any Reapers at either Hellwar or Vindicta. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I love doing clue scrolls. I have done so many, and in this clip, I have done my 1,000th hard treasure trail on this account, which is pretty exciting. Up until this point, though, I had only gotten one good thing from a hard, other than God Pages and a Fury Tea. I did get that Barrows Die all the way back on hard 37, and I've been dry ever since. You've seen a couple Barrows Dies on elites, but again, as far as hards goes, I've been screwed. While I was making my potion flasks, though, it's something that I mine every day just because it's one of those passive profit things and not bad crafting XP when you stock it up. I did get the crafting pet at just short of 31.9 mil XP, so that's pretty exciting. It's one of those pets that I think looks pretty nice. I don't really use it, but being that eventually 120 crafting could be an option, I've been kind of doing all of this gradual crafting either at the Citadel or in potion flasks and stuff like this, maybe a little bit in daily challenges. It's really cool to get the pet out of the way. And a couple months after it was released, I finally got the Back to the Freezer quest done and out of the way, so I kind of re-unlocked my quest point cape, which is pretty cool, although being that PandaForce was released, I haven't re-unlocked the quest point cape, which is kind of a pain, something I do need to be working toward, but I figured it was cool to finally get this quest done. Now, while I was thieving, getting XP, keeping track of my total XP, I did finally pass PandaForce's total XP. That account had just around 1,101,558,000 experience, something very close to that, and we'll see it in the next clip looking at RuneTrack, but I now feel like I am at a point where I can no longer call myself in and rebuild, that I have finally rebuilt. As far as all of my achievements go, I am maxed. I have more XP than I had before. I have my third age keepsakes back. I don't have a party hat, which sucks, but given current market, I really don't see that coming anytime soon. I have more 120s than that account had. I have more boss pets than that account had. Skill pets hadn't even come out yet. So obviously I have more skill pets. I have more quest points just because more quests have come out. I have pretty decent wealth, all things considered, and I didn't make any of it through gambling like I had on the last account, so I consider that to be a great accomplishment as well. I think the only things that I'm kind of lacking in on this account relative to that one is that my last account had 200 mil thieving and dungeoneering. This account doesn't have any 200 mils, even though it does have more 120s, which I think kind of makes up for it. Also, this account is kind of lacking on completionist requirements. Have not finished temple trekking, Dominion Tower, Livid Farm, Mage Training Arena, things like that are things that obviously I'll need to do eventually if I want to comp, but that's so far out, like such a far reach from now, it's really not at all in the foreground of my thought. It's not something I'm planning on doing anytime soon. Day of PandaForce release, though, I did finally do that Jack of Spades quest. I haven't done the other 3 PandaForce quests yet. I know I probably should, but again, I'm not exactly in a comping mood. I'm really just working toward 120s, whether that be Slayer, working toward thieving stuff, whether that be just doing a bunch of clue scrolls, AFK mining, really not at all in a comp mood. And it did take me long enough, but at 136 invention and about 136.3 million invention experience, I did finally get that Malcolm pet. On pet release, I had about 69 million XP. So I think if I'm doing my math correctly, that's about 67 million Invention XP without getting the pet. So that's what I would consider a pretty hard grind for it. I'm glad I finally got it out of the way, before getting to like almost 200 mil. So again, kind of reassuring that I'm no longer struggling with that. Also, I did finally get 120 thieving. Again, if you know my last account, 120 thieving was one of my first 120s. I think I actually did finish it before I finished 120 dungeoneering, so it would be my first. And it was also one of the 200 mil skills I had. I think I got 200 mil thieving before I did dungeoneering. So again, one of those things that I think is a great milestone, a great cornerstone almost to what makes my playstyle what it is, and kind of rebuilding that PandaForce legacy. I do fully intend on building this up to 200 mil and in doing every clue scroll along the way. Hopefully I'll get really lucky, get a shadow die, third age blood die, maybe a third age or druidic piece. All of those would be awesome. It'd be really, really great if I wouldn't keep getting Barrows Dies. At the time I did complete my 120 thieving, though, I had done over 1.3k hards. You saw earlier I had done 1k hards. So just to kind of put it into perspective, from the third clip or so in this episode to around the 10th, 12th, I'm not counting right, but that's over 300 hard treasure trails. That takes a long time to do. These clips have been stacking up for a long time, and that's kind of been the reason why episodes have been so scarce. This on top of doing almost 670 elites, doing a lot of clues, which is pretty cool. And of course, moving forward into a clue scroll, what do you know? He has gotten another Barrows die. Not a blood die, not a shadow die, not a third age die. Kinda sucks. I'm not gonna cry about making, what was it, 255 mil, whatever I wound up selling it for. Still definitely an awesome boost to the bank, and I'm happy to have gotten that over nothing. But I really want something better. This is my fourth Barrows die on this account, and you can see how many clues. I'm now at 729 elites. In just the last clip I was at 669, I believe. So I've done just a serious crazy amount of clues, and to have not gotten anything above Barrows Dies, you can see how it might be a little bit frustrating. Slowly working on that road to 120 Slayer, though. I've been doing a daily Dark Beast and a daily Abyssal Demon task with masks every day. And I did finally get Crabby or Crab, not sure how you're supposed to say it, but I got the Slayer pet, which is exciting. It's something I've been pushing for, maybe not pushing for, but hopeful, wondering when will I get it, around other skills I had been getting pets around 50 mil-ish, so being that I was around 58-ish when I finally got this, I was definitely kind of counting down, wondering when it's going to happen. When is it going to happen? Very, very glad to have finally gotten it. Sadly, though, that's really all of the clips I've accumulated in the last few months, really. So even though I'm playing every day, just about, and days I do play, I play for several hours, milestones are very, very spaced out. And it's going to be a long time before the next episode, if it ever comes. I'm kind of leaving it up in the air because I don't want to say, no, this is it. But you guys have seen very, very clearly, if you've been following this series, that episodes are very spaced out. There isn't a whole lot for me to demonstrate because milestones take ages. Not to mention, I'm moving into a very busy time in my life. I'm taking on a job, I'm moving out, all of that awesome stuff. So these awesome life milestones obviously mean I'm going to be spending a little bit less time in game, which means even longer before the next episode, should I ever have time to make it. That being said, though, guys, I feel like this has been a monumental episode in terms of having passed PandaForce's XP and having re-achieved 120 thieving. All of these things I'm so stoked to share with you, and I really hope you've enjoyed the journey with me. So thank you so much for everything. Stay happy, have a beautiful day. I have returned, and I have rebuilt.